Yeah, we need to sync. So.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna pour myself a drink first, I guess.
I just finished my. Before we started recording, I was drinking a Lucozade Tropical Zero Sugar.
Ooh.
So I've got this energy ready to.
I did drink a 473 milliliter can of Red Bull.
Oh my god, really?
When I got home from work, yeah.
That's
It's like pretty fucking big. Like, I don't know why they make cans of Red Bull this big, but you can get them in a meal deal, and it feels like a fucking steal. Hey everyone.
Luke.
It's the podcast. We're doing, it's Playing Favorites.
I need to know if this is legit. Is this the real intro?
Hey everyone, welcome to Playing Favorites, the podcast in which I and my good friend Harry record on.
That's too much energy. That's too much.
What?
That's too much. You sound like a kid's Saturday morning
Hey
TV
everybody,
presenter.
welcome to Playing Favorites!
You can't do that. You've got to do a proper intro.
Right, shut your fucking gob.
No, because this is going to be it's our show, Luke. It's our baby.
Hey everybody, welcome to Playing Favorites, the podcast in which I and my good friend Harry discuss our favourites on a variety of different topics. My name is Luke, my co-host is Harry, and my favourite colour and my favourite animal are also involved.
It's all collapsing. Luke, you're just telling me about how you had this massive can of Red Bull, and I'm afraid that it's just sent your brain into overdrive.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Playing Favorites, the podcast in which I and my good friend Harry discuss our favourites on a variety of different topics. My favourite colour is Zephyr, my favourite animal is a cheetah, and my favourite co-host is...
Wondering if that's the real pronunciation of that colour? They're also having a mental breakdown. Luke, I don't know... I don't even know what to say.
One of those will do.
You just did the intro like
no,
3
my
times.
can of Red Bull is on the floor.
Oh no, it's one of those episodes, everyone.
Hello, we're talking about non-Olympic sports.
Non-Olympic sports. Is that the wording, or is it events? Are you eating? What are you eating?
I'm eating something.
This is the worst episode we've ever done. This is the worst intro we've ever done. I had a format idea for this one, okay?
Oh, okay.
I had a format idea.
Go on, then.
Luke, do you remember in episode 15, I think it was, where we did the emoji episode, we came up with like our 5 emojis that like should get to survive the purge and are like, you know, the good ones, the ones that are needed. I was thinking, how about we make our own Olympics? Like our own little, like what ones can we cut? What ones do we need? We can get all the non-Olympic ones in there, maybe keep a few of the current Olympic ones, and like make it. Let's redo the Olympics.
No, I think we should do our own Olympics that has no Olympic sport.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so
like to make it really like, you know,
yeah. Well,
our own thing.
In maybe episode 11, I think it was the seasons episode, we talked about the Autumn Olympics, if people remember that. Which would be like, that was something slightly different because it was us taking
like
summer and winter. No, it was summer and winter. It wasn't leaf raking. We were taking summer and winter sports and merging them into one. However, I do like the idea of it being autumn-based events. Like, yeah, maybe marathon, but you're doing it in sort of slightly cold, breezy weather, you know, that you get in the autumn. Or maybe like...
It's just regular things, but autumnish.
Yeah, it's a bit windy.
Autumnal is usually the word.
Autumnish, yeah. You know, maybe you need like a bit of a coat on. Like a coat, you know, if you put on a big coat, you'll be too warm, but a light jacket, you'll be too cold. And so the athletes need to decide, you know, there's pros and cons.
Yeah, I like that. Well, anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're doing currently.
That can be separate to what we're doing.
Yeah, okay. So what? We're coming up with like... So in this, we're going to talk about...
How many should we say?
How many events does the Olympics have?
Oh, like a trillion, right?
Yeah, like a lot. Well, yeah. And then they have the big event at the end of it called the Trilliathlon. It's a hard one to say, huh? Trilliathlon.
Where you have to go around the world performing various events.
They're kind of cheating in the Olympics, though, right? Because there's the 100-meter sprint.
Yeah.
And then there's the 200-meter.
Yeah.
And the 400-meter.
Yeah.
And the 800-meter.
Yeah.
And there's more of them, I assume. I don't know. I don't watch the Olympics.
Maybe.
And, like, those are all the same event, just longer. I've looked it up. There are 400 events at the Olympics.
You're kidding me, really?
But the Olympic program consists of 35 different sports.
Oh, okay. So all the 400 are, like, variations on hurdles or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what I was,
God, you warned me for a second there. Christ. I was like, 400. I don't think there were 400 sports in the world. Yeah, like, okay. Well, I've got, as a starting point, I found an article from mathslive.com.
Thank you, MathsLive.
It's an interesting article considering the sort of the top bit. You've got the 15 sports on in the 2016 Rio Olympics, but should be. And underneath that, you have, well, seems to be some kind of like meme or picture. And then underneath that, you have the word in block capitals, title. So I don't know if someone's just forgotten to like
someone forgot to get rid of that part.
Yeah. And looking at this, like, I mean, I don't know if you're looking at the same article, but there's some pretty boring ones. Cricket.
Okay.
Cricket making it into our how many sports are we having? No. If the Olympics has got 30 something,
I think we can have 10.
10. That's a good amount. Okay. But like on this list, just to run through them really quickly, we've got dueling pistol shooting, karate.
That's awesome.
Kickball, cricket, American football, darts, sports climbing, arm wrestling, bow taushi, don't know what that is, baseball, sumo, flying disc, obstacle course, softball, and tug of war.
Okay.
Which apparently was an Olympic sport until 1920, that last one. Tug of war. Man.
Tug of war. Okay. That sounds awesome.
Any of those stand out to you? I mean, tug of war sounds sick.
I really like the idea of, like, dueling pistols.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a little clip for each of these, and the clip for dueling pistols is Aaron Burr and Alexander Hamilton from the musical Hamilton.
Spoilers.
So, I mean, yeah, spoilers for history there, but, you know, that's their idea of it, apparently.
I think that would be pretty cool, though.
What, having...
Just seeing two people, like, we can use non-lethal bullets.
Yeah, well, so the idea is what? It's like, you know, 10 paces, turn and fire.
Like paint guns.
What is paintball? Can we get paintball in the Olympics?
That's actually an incredible idea.
That sounds
team-based,
amazing.
5v5 paintball.
Okay, what it is...
Okay, there you go. That one's going in.
Okay, paintball's making it into the 10.
Paintball,
bam, number 1. I like the idea that it's like we still have one winner. So it starts off team-based, so it's like, you know, a tournament
it's a
style.
battle royale.
And then when it gets to it's the final 2 in the like bracket, you know, the 5v5. And then as soon as the 5v5 is over, a winning team has been declared. It becomes every man for himself. Who's going to, on their own team, who is going to take the
podium
title.
Position.
Exactly. And it just becomes a bloodbath. Or a paint bath, I suppose.
I like that. We kind of haven't addressed something yet.
Go on.
And I felt like it was going to be the first thing we spoke about.
Okay.
Because we've kind of left it a little bit vague with non-Olympic sport, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Because, like, there's a lot of things people want in the Olympics that aren't in the Olympics. Mainly because there is debate on whether or not it's a sport at all.
I suppose.
So let's hit it right out the bat.
What?
Magic the Gathering.
The dumb card game you play.
Is it a sport? Is Magic the Gathering a sport?
Because
I know everyone wants to see it at the Olympics.
You know what? That's what's really on the minds of the listeners of Playing Favorites. Mm-hmm. You know what? Okay, I'm going to say something maybe a little bit controversial. And I'm sure you're going to just hit me with something to immediately disprove this idea or something like that.
Okay, go ahead.
But, you know, there's a lot of sports out there in general.
Yes, true. I'd agree with that.
And I agree that there's a lot of them that, like, that maybe should be in that aren't. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to turn-based things, I don't know if turn-based things should make it into the Olympics.
What about gymnastics?
Well, this is the thing. Okay, so as in like taking turns. So one person will go up.
Turns.
But that no, because it's a different thing. So that is one person will go up, have their turn. Another person go up, have their turn. I'm talking about like back and forth, two people or whatever.
Now, Harry, I've got an interesting one for you.
Go on.
What about table tennis?
That's not turn-based, Luke.
It is turn-based.
It isn't. I know what you're saying. But it's not.
Why is it not turn-based?
Because hitting it to one side of the table and then having it hit back to you does not count. Any sport, football, is turn-based between
that is an interesting
22
way of
people
viewing it,
or 10
it?
people.
Yeah, I think
dumb.
You could definitely argue football's
don't
turn-based.
Don't try and put this dumb narrative of like.
So you're saying you don't want chess in the Olympics? That's what you're saying.
Kind of.
I know what this means.
I wouldn't mind it in the Olympics, but it.
What about golf?
Golf. I mean, golf is. I did think of it while I was pitching my argument, and like, I wouldn't mind it, but it doesn't.
I don't want golf. Golf sucks.
I don't think it's some great injustice. I think golf's fine, but like,
I'd rather have chess than golf.
Agreed.
What about cricket? Cricket's turn-based.
Is it?
Baseball's turn-based. Baseball isn't really in the Olympics. It was, but it's not anymore.
But again, are these like, people have their turns, like discus, for example, where people go up, have their turn and go back, or is it like a back and forth thing?
It's kind of a back and forth thing, yeah. Like in cricket, you like all do your you do all your pitching, and then eventually like one of you go out. I don't know how.
Well, I think okay, yeah, neither do I. But that's kind of like team turn based, and that your team is having its go.
Okay, what if you played chess, but there were 8 people?
Like 8 masterminds against another team of 8 masterminds, and they all had their little move. I don't know how I feel about that.
What if they did bullet chess? Would you be okay with that?
What is bullet chess?
Bullet chess is chess where you have like 5 seconds for your turn.
Oh, right.
Each player has like in total 1 minute of time.
Yeah, actually, well, something like that, because that's closer to real time. And they're the kind of that's the kind of sports. I'm not saying that turn-based things aren't sports or whatever, or necessarily aren't worthy. It's just, to me personally, they don't.
You're just bored.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like, because then, yeah, you start factoring, like, this whole thing stemmed from Magic the Gathering being a sport that could potentially end up in it.
I'm going to let you know that.
Okay, yeah. But, like, chess and these kind of turn-based strategy-oriented
I can't believe you're anti-chess in the Olympics.
I don't know. I'm just not, a big supporter of it. Like, it just doesn't feel like... whilst it's a demonstration of skill, it's not really...
Okay.
It doesn't call to me.
Fine. Okay. Can we have them in our pseudo-Olympics?
Yeah. And I think chess would be a good one to include as a sort of representative of that,
okay,
that kind
cool.
of...
We're putting chess in.
Chess is number 2.
Slotted in.
Going in our Playing Favorites Olympics.
I have a new suggestion for you.
Okay.
I want to know how you feel about it.
Okay.
And it's going to tie into a later one that I'm going to bring up.
Oh, God, okay. This is exciting. Continuity's being established.
Competitive eating.
Okay. I love
that.
As a concept, yes. Can it make the Playing Favorites Olympics? Absolutely.
Yes.
Let's get it on the list. I don't think...
I'm glad that there was... Okay, what kind of events are we going to have in the competitive eating category?
You've got to have... Okay, I've never seen a single match of competitive eating in my life. Have you?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
I've seen some competitive eaters, but never in like a... Well, I did see that one video of, I think it was Kobayashi, who's one of the most famous competitive eaters, trying to compete with a bear.
Oh my God.
In eating a lot of hot dogs. He did lose quite badly.
Lost to the bear. Well, this pictures the idea. We don't have an animal Olympics, do we? Is in like the real world.
Well, we equestrian stuff is like crufts.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like the Olympics, but it's like, I don't know whether it would be a bunch of like, the rabbits, they do the hurdles, and then like the bears get to do hammer throw
Olympics but Zootopia.
Yeah, or if you would have animals against each other. So in the 100 meters, you've got like a squirrel, a dog, a fox, some bees maybe. Like, I don't know how you'd set it up.
It feels like the bees might have an advantage on that one.
Yeah, I don't know how you'd set it up, but it's interesting food for thought, the idea of having an animal-centric
animal-based Olympics.
Yeah, that could be...
we can put an animal sport in there.
Yeah, okay, maybe because like equestrians in the Olympics, right? Horses.
But that's usually about the person on the horse, really, rather than...
I guess so, yeah.
Do they race? Do they have horse racing?
I don't think so. No.
It's just like showing off your horse, right?
Yeah, doing a little gallop
around. My
horse
can do a backflip.
Yeah. Like, you take your horse to various other events. Horse archery.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, it'd be wholesome. There you go.
Oh yeah,
perfect. But maybe as animal representation in the Playing Favorites Olympics, could you have like, I don't know, maybe like a triathlon, but it's like a little taster of all 10, or maybe like a.
See, the main issue I'm running into now that I've thought about it for more than 30 seconds is I'm pretty sure most animal-based sports are terrible for the animal.
Oh, really?
So I think we need to choose one that is somehow going to be, like, cool.
Okay, what about competitive eating, but it's for animals? And that way you can scale it. So you could have... That does
sound kind of cool.
So competing, you've got a rabbit, and they've got to eat a bunch of lettuce. You've got a bear who's trying to eat the same amount, or relatively the same amount for their body weight or whatever, but in salmon.
I like that.
And so it's like it
So
adapts
it's skill based. It's like weight classes in wrestling.
Yeah, it's like that. And so, and maybe there'd be similar animals. So you can also have like a cow, a pig, and a sheep, and they can all share like the hay or whatever that they're eating.
Okay, yeah.
And so that's like their weight class or whatever. So are we including competitive eating brackets animal?
Are they two different sports?
I don't know. It feels like this is equivalent to like
is this an event in the
you've got like 100 meters and 100 meters hurdles, how they're two separate sports. It feels like this is what we've got here. Competitive eating, competitive eating animals. Yeah. Okay.
That's fun.
Not eating animals.
Eating animals? Well, I mean, maybe.
I suppose. Yeah, although, yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay, number 5. Right, okay, so the reason I brought up competitive eating is because I wanted to get a taster for your feelings on something else I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
This one might be a bit out there. You might disagree with me.
Okay.
What if they added competitive baking to the Olympics?
Like in Bake Off?
Like in the Great British Bake Off, yeah.
Okay, so the idea of like cooking or baking, I suppose baking is, well, they say baking's a science, cooking is not, is usually. So I suppose, yeah, baking makes more sense.
We could do cooking too. Like, I'm not fussed.
Well, cooking, you can kind of like, anything can be cooking. Whereas baking, like if your bread doesn't rise, it's not bread. It's a bunch of goo. Like you failed.
True.
So baking kind of makes more sense.
It would be like gymnastics because gymnastics is all like it's fairly subjective, right? Like there's judges.
Yeah, true.
So I think we'd have to do it that way.
So how would this be presented then? Would everyone have the same recipe or the same?
Yeah, everyone would be given like the same ingredients and the same recipe.
Yeah.
And they would be given like, a certain time frame to complete it in.
Yeah, okay.
And then each country would be judged based off of its creation.
The real question here is baking a sport?
See, yes, this is where I wanted to really get into the nitty-gritty. Because once we establish whether or not baking's a sport,
yeah,
it opens so many possibilities.
Because the real question here is, what is a sport? Like,
yeah,
that's the real.
I don't really know.
I mean, having a look at the Google definition here, a sport is an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment.
Yeah, which I would say.
Physical exertion, though. What is exertion?
Well, the thing is, that's just wrong.
Okay.
Because, what about...
golf, yeah.
Yeah, golf, or darts, or pool, or...
True.
anything.
So I suppose it's a very small amount of exertion. So basically it's saying you need to move.
It requires
movement and skill.
Which I would say baking definitely involves.
It does, moving...
You just have to form it competitively.
And actually, now I think about it, it's kind of got a lot more. It could be quite exciting because you've got to whisk, for example. There's some whisking, so you'd have people who train for years at whisking.
That's the thing. I love the idea of it being team based, and you have a whisker, and you have your kneader.
It's like bobsled, yeah, or something like that.
Someone's managing the oven, like the oven technician.
Yeah, that's gold, Luke. This is making the list. Competitive baking, because you've sold me on the team idea. The idea that you have someone who trains for years at kneading. Or someone who's opening oven doors in the most efficient manner possible, and they've been doing this for the last 15 years.
Like a pit manager in racing.
Yeah. All these little things.
Okay, fantastic. Now that we've established baking as a sport, the world is our oyster.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, you ready for this next one? I'm gonna hit you.
Oh man, you've got a whole list.
I'm prepared.
Okay, number
are you ready?
6. Yeah.
What about singing?
Do you move? Is there physical exertion?
There can be physical exertion. There's definitely physical exertion in singing, yeah.
Of throat?
Every singer I've spoken to has been it tires you out. You do a lot of breathing.
True, you do breathe a lot. God, man, this is a difficult one, because it's very stationary. You haven't got the equivalent of whisking or something like that, obviously singing does require a lot of training, but I think it is. Yeah, I think it is one. And are you putting it forward for the Playing Favorites Olympics? Is this your pitch?
I think it definitely could be involved. I like the idea of it being not turn-based as well. You are literally competing. There's a musical backing track, and it's just like 2 people on stage.
Yeah. Okay.
Single elimination.
Okay.
Out-sing the other opponent.
Maybe you could, you could
And
play with the format.
also, you both have dueling pistols.
As well, yeah. And also you're
and
baking.
it's actually Hamilton the musical.
Exactly, you have to perform Hamilton, and it's a 3-hour event. Okay, so you've just given me the idea of, like, what if, so you've got the competitive baking, and when they finish that, they pass it on to the competitive eating. And so then
excellent.
They have to then eat the... the competitive eaters have to eat what the competitive bakers have baked, and as soon as they finish
good because it minimizes food waste.
There you go. And then you just have this be like one long decathlon. They all get handed paintball guns, and they have to get up and fight after having just eaten absurd amounts of food. Oh. This is terrible. It's too far. But I like the idea with the singing of like playing with the format and having it be like, they don't know what they're gonna have to sing beforehand. Maybe there's like it's a back and forth, so they get like you sing for a minute, then it goes to the other person, they sing for a minute, and then back to you. It does then become a case of like, what are you measuring here? Because it becomes like, okay, is the person have to think up what they're singing, and so the skill becomes thinking of the most appropriate lyrics, the most appropriate song, or I don't know. It feels particularly difficult to establish.
I mean, there's a lot of options. You're not wrong,
but I think. Sure, we can throw it in as a skill-based sort of sport, that does require it ticks the boxes, exertion and skill.
It's got everything we need.
Yeah, physical movement of the body in some way. Like literally with that definition, what can't be a sport based off of this definition?
Yeah, well that's the thing, right? That's what really gets you. It's like
I mean there's like thinking.
Thinking? Yeah, that can require physical exertion.
Can it?
I've had some hard thoughts.
I want that on your gravestone. That also sounds really sad as well. Like,
it does,
Like, Luke, you okay? Do we need to have a chat after the podcast?
It's been tough recently,
man. Oh, man.
Been thinking about competitive eating a lot.
There you go. I guess, like, looking, you can't
seeing,
competitive
observing.
Seeing. That can't be a sport.
Like competitive I Spy.
Yeah. Do you have any more on your
on my big list?
On your that have come to mind? Because I've got a few I'm thinking about.
I've put down a lot of suggestions. So you hit me with some.
So one that I just like because of when it comes to sports, the ones that really call to me are the ones where you're doing a single thing. And it's how well can you do this thing?
Okay.
So, like, I really enjoy the 100 meters, for example.
Yeah.
Because it's like short distance, get it as fast as possible. It's not like it's not particularly skill based it is skill based, but it's not strategy based. It's not trying to be clever or anything like that. It's like how well can you do this one thing? Running. So one that really calls to me, and I'm pulling from this Mass Live list, is arm wrestling. Because arm wrestling, all it is be strong. Push your opponent's hand down onto that table. And there's little extra tips and tricks about like bending your wrist and putting your weight behind it and things like that. But at the end of the day, it is push as hard as you can and get the other person's hand down on the table.
Yep.
I think that's sick. I think that's like...
I love that. I love that idea.
Are we getting arm wrestling in there?
I'd love to include arm wrestling, and you've given me a great second idea tied in with that.
Okay, go on then.
Okay, it's arm wrestling, a classic thing you do at the table at school lunch break. You know what else you do?
Go on.
Rock, paper, scissors. Let's put it in there.
Okay. No, Luke, you may have been caught out. You may have been hoisted by your own petard here.
Oh, you're going to argue that rock, paper, scissors doesn't require physical exertion?
It does require that, Luke, but it doesn't require skill.
It's well, you know what? You haven't played me in rock, paper, scissors.
Because you're always going to go rock.
I do always go rock, he's right.
There you go. So,
and I always declare it beforehand.
And you always let the other person know, and they always doubt you, Luke, but I don't. I know better than to doubt you.
The thing is, the one time I don't go rock, the illusion's broken, and I can never use that strategy again.
So, Playing Favorites listeners, if you ever see Luke Cobb out in the streets, challenge him to a game of rock, paper, scissors. Use this knowledge against him. And maybe...
It will work.
Maybe,
don't get...
But maybe you'll be the listener, will be the person that Luke decides, like...
That breaks me.
Yeah. Who knows? It also is a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy in that if there is that hope that one day you will break the illusion, that will make people second guess themselves,
exactly,
and think like, oh man, there's £100 on the line here. Surely he's going to break the illusion to, not take the chance and to not risk losing. When in reality,
But I never will.
So I don't think rock paper scissors can make it in, right? I feel like a line has to be drawn at some point.
Okay, fair, fine.
So
fine.
That's
okay.
Sad, but I think.
What about Blackjack?
Oh, like the card game.
Like the card game, yeah.
I don't know, not very exciting. I feel
it's not. No, you're right.
Yeah, I'm thinking like because I like you know me, Luke. I like something cool looking, something that has a lot of like epic connotations. The idea of two like really jacked people sat at a table, battling it out over an arm wrestle,
straining.
Have
you seen that? That is a real like competitive thing. Competitive slapping.
Oh, if you send me a clip over, I'll take a look. But like something like arm wrestling is really cool. These the arms on the table creating that like image of the two hands interlinked. Like it's so cool.
It's a good,
maybe there's like more sports like that, more things that are like. I mean, like I like Ultimate Frisbee because it has the word ultimate in it. But ultimately, I have no idea what it is.
Ultimate Frisbee's kind of boring, to be honest.
It?
But I do agree, it's got a cool name. Okay, Harry, you'll love this.
Okay.
This is a great sport. It's competitive slapping. Competitive slap fight. This is turn-based.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's okay. We'll put it up for review. The clip that Lucas sent me is called Insane Slap Contest in Siberia. The link will be in the show notes. This video has 1.6 million views.
It's unironically kind of scary. Because they go hard.
Yeah, I'm taking a look. So I actually might have seen something like this before. Okay, the first slap has been thrown. The second slap was...
He knocks him unconscious.
Yeah, I just sent this guy flying, like we're in an anime or something. But he's regained his footing. He's going back in again. He gives this look and a nod to his, I don't know if that's his coach.
Yeah,
gives a slap. This bearded man is having none of it.
He just tanks it, yeah.
He just tanks it, and then sends such a huge blow crashing into the side of this other guy's face. And he doesn't know where he is. He's stumbling backwards.
Lost,
He's got a team of people to sort of catch him when he gets sent stumbling backwards by the bearded man. I think the bearded man might have taken the win.
This is like boxing, but condensed. Like, this is...
Yeah,
it seems like the perfect sport, really.
It's, I don't know, man, because, like...
It is scary, though. It is like a scary one to watch.
Yeah.
But, like, they've got, like, Taekwondo in the Olympics.
True, and it varies, martial arts.
And people, like, break their legs in that.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but slaps, like... I don't know why it's not calling to me, because, like, yeah, it is it feels like it fits the bill, it's,
It's turn-based.
Maybe that's it. I don't know. It just feels like the least... We've taken cool concepts and just made them as the least exciting as we can make it. Like, it's physical. It's a you're attacking another person, but it's not through like taekwondo or anything like that. It's through a slap.
Yeah, I mean, there's very little skill involved in slapping.
And
I imagine
it's very slow.
It's mostly just like pure strength.
Yeah, and like maybe there's a bit of technique in getting as much momentum and power behind it, but it's not. That's not very interesting.
It's hard to market at the very least.
Yeah, true. So I don't know. This one doesn't really call to me. How do you feel about it?
No, it's fun. No, I mean,
we've got 7 on the list. We're looking for 3
I suddenly
more.
just remember. Oh, jeez, I didn't realize. Okay, well, no slapping. Don't care. We got arm wrestling. Right?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I have one, and I know you're gonna like this one.
Okay.
Combat juggling.
Combat juggling.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a real thing.
Really?
It's a real thing that already exists, yeah.
You're kidding
I'm not
me.
making this one up.
I thought you were making this one up.
This one is awesome, by the way.
Well, hit me with a clip, Luke. Like, what's...
I will.
Again,
Hold on, I have a GIF.
The link will be in the show notes. Oh, it's a GIF.
I mean, there's videos too. You just Google combat juggling, you can find them, but I'll send you this GIF.
So I'm looking at this GIF. I don't really know what I'm looking at. So
you'd have to juggle 3 of these little batons.
These little pin, like a bowling pin, it kind of looks like.
Yeah. And essentially, if you drop one, you lose.
Yeah.
The twist, of course, being that you're on the battlefield with other players.
Yeah.
And they can knock them out of your hands.
Yeah.
And competitive juggling, it rocks. Look at this. Look at those people. These people are like diving at each other.
Exactly. And then every now and then there'll be like one guy who's like you know, they're in a safe spot right now, so they're just like slowly walking along, juggling, like on guard at all times. And I mean, Luke, whilst you're explaining it, I add it to the list because this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's
I mean,
so cool.
Look at it. Because they're proper. Like the juggling isn't a problem. There's no fear of like, they're gonna drop the batons or whatever. Like, no, there's no fear of that. So they're just doing it, and then it's the diving, it's the lunging, it's the shoving. Like, I think at one point one guy uses one of his juggling.
Yeah, he like swipes with the baton.
Yeah, stops juggling for a moment to like swipe with it to like, you know, try and bat another person's, you know, batons away. This is incredible. I want to watch a match of this.
Yeah,
man, a very simple one that's on this article I'm looking at. But I enjoy because it fits the bill of that like one thing but doing it well. Obstacle course. And so like the specifics of that, I mean, in this video I'm watching, like these people are trained professionals. They're like
it's like Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, so it starts off with like, so this particular video, it's like they've got to climb a ladder, and these people just do it in a blink of an eye and just drop from the top bit, and they like run, they leap over this sort of little bar. And then there's like a sort of tripwire kind of section. But then you get to this like bit, you know, when you've got to go under sort of tripwires and sort of scurry underneath. And this guy just becomes like an animal, like a four-legged quadrupedal animal, just scurrying.
Oh my god!
Like on all fours underneath these wires. Like it's incredible. Like just watching it happen.
Oh my god, you're not wrong. That's scary. It looks like he's from a horror movie.
Yeah. And so watching these people do it, maybe
you're right. This is awesome. I love this.
I don't know if you'd like standardize the course, or maybe the people don't know what the course is going to be.
The course has to be new there'd be like scouts who try and like find information on the course. I want to add a twist.
Okay.
I want to make it team-based.
It's the competitive eaters. As soon as they're finished eating, they're going to go and jog through this course.
From the video that you sent me, it's like a relay. I like that.
Yeah.
I think we make it team-based. We dedicate it to being that.
Okay.
But there is an enemy team.
Okay.
Not who's competing alongside with you.
Yeah.
But is trying to harm you. Not harm you. Hamper you.
Okay.
They're trying to hinder you.
Yes.
Like, they've got, like, you know... It's like this Total Wipeout. They've got dodgeballs. They're throwing them at you.
That's good, yeah. I don't know, because obviously these people who compete, especially if we're doing an Olympics, where it is Olympians, the best of the best, like, you have to assume they're going to be pushing these games to the max.
To the limit, yeah.
They're going to be hurling dodgeballs with incredible speed and incredible accuracy. So, like, does that need to be limited? How much of an effect is that going to have on the people competing in the obstacle course? I think it would be fine, right? Like, I don't think... like.
Well, the thing is, it would create an interesting balance as well, because it would mean you could choose whether or not to focus your team on getting really good at doing the obstacle course, or really good at fucking up the enemy team with dodgeballs.
Yeah.
Like, you could get a bunch of competitive dodgeballers and just make them your team.
Yeah, exactly. That's
even if they're awful at obstacle courses.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. I like this team. Maybe we don't need to list it multiple times, but like maybe there could be different variations, like 100-meter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there'd be the team one.
I love the idea of a 100-meter obstacle course.
Yeah.
It's just one really hard obstacle.
Exactly. It's just a mountain.
It's a small mountain.
It is very small. No, it's just like really vertical, and you get given suction.
It's just rock climbing.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Luke, on this article I'm looking at, you know, sports climbing is on here. So, you know.
That's number 9. So we're at number 10, Harry.
The final event.
Unfortunately, we haven't spoken about them yet, but we have
to. You know, I know what you mean. I knew it was going to come up.
And because number 10 we have to. There's no other option.
Right, well, pitch it. Go on. Say it.
It's electronic sports.
Esports, yeah. I don't think esports should be in the Olympics.
I think that is fair.
Yeah.
But we're not making the Olympics.
We're not the International Olympic Committee. Okay, in the playing favourites Olympics, well, we have chess, which is a representative of, like, turn-based, purely strategy gaming like that.
It's also, like, single player.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not single player. It's,
yeah, it's
one-on-one.
Not team-based, yeah. And so I'm thinking, what could be the representative for esports in the playing favourites Olympics?
It's the hard question, isn't it? Because you have to choose the game. It can't be... I mean, because you can't have an esports category, because then every team is...
Yeah, it's so
There's
different.
very little crossover
in
a lot of esports. So we do have to choose a game. We could have speedrunning.
Okay, that's interesting. So speedrunning, if people don't know, is trying to compete a video game or a level of a video game or a particular section of a video game as fast as possible by any means necessary. There's various categories. Some where you can use glitches and things like that. Some of them, where you'll have to take a particular route through the game or something.
I like that idea, actually. Because they used to do... There was the Nintendo tournaments where they used to do... There were the, like, actual competitions where they had, like, who can beat this level the fastest in, like, Super Mario 1. Who can get the most points. So
I like this as an idea because... I'm thinking, okay, well, what game would you pick? But I think you could kind of do it like the obstacle course, where people train for the obstacle course. They would practice their, jumping over obstacles. They would practice their sort of weird alien scurry, like this man was doing in the clip, things like that. And I think for speedrunning something, people would practice. The competitors would train to get really good at shooting in a video game, first person. So reaction times, things like that, moving the mouse or the controller, or whatever, clicking. And people get really good at timing jumps in video games, so in platformers, but also in first-person games and things like that. And so people could train in these kind of broad areas to the point where it doesn't really matter what the game is.
If you did it like that, like each country would have like 8 competitors.
Yeah.
And like it might be like, oh shit, guys, it's Super Mario Bros. This year. We gotta send in, Jeffrey. He's our best Super Mario Bro man.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, exactly. So you have the team, and it's like in like UK game shows, like Eggheads or whatever, where you've got to you pick your one.
You're specialist.
Yeah, specialist in this particular area. Yeah, that actually works really well. So should we say, Luke, our final sport
esports.
In the it's specifically in the Playing Favorites Olympics is speedrunning.
Can be, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Perfect.
I'm happy to put that in there.
Oh, in that case, Luke, across the course of the episode thus far, we have assembled the Playing Favorites Olympics. Anyway, so in that case, the rundown, the 10. I don't know if these would take place in order or how you would order these, but we have, in order of deciding, paintball, chess, competitive eating brackets animals, competitive baking, singing, arm wrestling, competitive juggling, obstacle course, and speedrunning. I think we've done a good job.
I think that would be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, I would enjoy all
I would
of
watch
these.
most of those.
Which ones wouldn't you?
I might fast forward through competitive eating animals.
That's the best one.
I do like the idea of watching a bear eat like a bunch of cabbages, but
that would be so good.
I'm more like,
what's that? I'm genuinely.
Does the country like train the animal? Is that the idea?
You enter. You enter this year. Okay, the United Kingdom will be entering a bear, a fox.
Does the animal have to be native to the country?
No, it doesn't have to be. So
okay,
you can source
we
them.
could just like import a bear.
Yeah, and then it's trained in the United Kingdom by the United Kingdom competitive eating animals team management.
I also feel like we need a better name.
Competitive eating animals.
Because I don't want to have to keep saying competitive eating animals.
I specifically want to keep saying competitive eating animals, so I'm sorry that we're going to have to agree to disagree on that. But the fact that you'd fast forward that one, I mean, like singing, I don't know, personally, I'm not really, I don't know how much I'd get out of that.
See, I like the way that we've made that one work.
Okay. Yeah, so the format there. Yeah, I think the format carries a lot of these, but fantastic. I mean, in that case, like, I mean, crikey, we a good portion of the episode. We've come up with these. I think it was a good. I'm well chuffed for this format.
I'm happy with all of these non-Olympic sports.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, then, do we want to throw it over to the listeners,
audience,
to the people in the rafters at the Playing Favorites Olympics? I like to imagine we're going around with a microphone.
Vuvuzela.
Yeah, and then like there's someone in the crowd. And we run over with the microphone and the camera. But who are we running over to first, Luke?
Let me load up the Twitter account. We got a nice diversity of responses here.
Yeah.
The unfortunate truth is that we've also spoken about most of them.
That's okay.
But we've got from Lime.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lime, for writing in. Lime has mentioned MMA, also known as mixed martial arts.
Mixed marital arts.
Nope.
No, that's the wrong one. I don't know, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about MMA?
I mean, the thing is, like, why not? Right? Like, why isn't MMA already in the Olympics? They already do, like, 18 different martial arts. Like, there's Taekwondo, Judo, some other ones I'm gonna have a look. I'm looking it up.
So I've googled it, and Google has these sort of little info panels. On the right when you Google something. It's got a bunch of information, so a little description, everything, and then it says mixed gender : yes, separate male and female events. However, female is a hyperlink, and if you click on it, it Google searches for the word female.
Just in case you aren't familiar.
Yeah, like not male as well. That's just that one doesn't need a link. We don't. Everyone knows males.
That is odd.
Like
wrong.
It's a very strange little thing there, Google.
I also like that MMA is described as a full contact sport. Because I like the idea of mixed martial arts where it's not.
It's not full contact, and I don't even know what that would mean.
You have to use, like, telekinesis.
Yeah, the force.
It's all based off of psychic battling.
So my understanding of MMA is that it's literally just two people fight, and they can use whatever...
In the octagon.
Oh, that's cool. But it's like whatever means necessary, whether you want to be grabbing or grappling or punching
like if you bring
or
a
kicking.
knife in beforehand.
I don't know that. But like, yeah.
It's martial arts.
Guns.
Yep.
Yeah. Dirty bombs. Weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, just like just poison.
Yeah. You poison your opponent just before the match. Now, isn't MMA, isn't it a bit of a controversial one? People are like,
why?
Is it ethical? You're literally just saying in the most animalistic way.
If they've got boxing.
But no, boxing has like, it's got boundaries to it in that there's things you can do, things you can't do.
You're not allowed to like kill the opponent in MMA.
Yeah, but like it's a bit more animalistic in that you're literally just saying to two people,
like
fight each other. Yeah, and it becomes a bit more...
I actually think you're more likely to get injured. Well, because the thing about boxing is that, like, they got all these rules in place. They got boxing gloves and the helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, people get, like, concussions just on the reg, definitely. Just constantly. Yeah. Whereas, like, in MMA, I think most of maybe they probably do get concussions too. But my argument here was going to be that sometimes people break their legs in MMA.
Yeah.
And I realized I didn't have a counter argument. And I think you might be right. MMA's kind of like, it's kind of gruesome, kind of brutal.
And which isn't to say, it does appeal to what I was saying earlier about like the doing one thing as good as you can. You are fight
fighting
this other person in whatever way possible as best you can. So I think it is a good sport as far as my own sort of criteria for a good sport. I think definitely. Although I suppose there is a sort of this aspect to it that I'm a little bit skeptical of, where it's like it is really primal and really like I don't know. There's something about it that makes me a little bit unsettled.
I get that.
But all in all, it's a good sport.
I just love watching people fight.
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
There's something very visceral there,
Yeah,
I mean, this guy. The thing about MMA that actually really gets me is that like there's a lot of like MMA fighters where it's like, oh yeah, they've just never lost.
Yeah, which is
and
insane.
you think about that and you're like, wow, that's incredible. Like, how are they so good at MMA?
Yeah.
But the truth is, it's because like if they lose, they're not dead, but like,
yeah,
there's
a lot on the line, I suppose.
If you lose, that means you had the shit kicked out of you.
Yeah, it's definitely not one. Yeah, if you lose in golf, it's like, oh, it's a shame. But like, lose MMA, you're gonna get pounded. I am now watching a video which is top crazy fight ending moments in MMA.
Dude, some of those videos are actually terrifying because there's ones where like people just get kicked in the head and you just watch them drop.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know, it's not as dramatic. Like when you're just watching it in reality, it's not as dramatic. It's not, a punch is thrown, person goes flying back. It's not like we're in an anime.
It's not like anime, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's better or worse. I mean, the arena in this current one I'm watching is just spattered in blood.
Yeah, there's usually a lot of blood.
I would love to edit like some of these fight moments to have like movie sound effect punches. You know, like someone gets in a movie and there's like a crack,
a crunch.
Yeah, and like, you know, edit it so it's just really visceral, because it doesn't feel like it has much weight behind it. You're literally like, I've fought with, you know, people like my dad when I was younger, and like, you know, it's like throwing each other around, and that's kind of what this looks like
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you watch him like elbow strike a dude in the mouth.
And and then
there'll
be some really visceral moment, like
he's down.
Yeah, like I just watched like one guy duck under a punch and then just like clock a guy in the face.
Yeah,
like, full on, and that's something else. All right, give us another one, Luke. Give us another one.
Okay, we're going to talk about this one because it kind of addresses something we mentioned earlier but didn't really get into.
Yep.
Overwatch from Francesca. Thank you for
the video game Overwatch.
The video game known as Overwatch. But I'm going to generalize it.
Yeah.
So that we talk more about team-based competitive gaming.
Yeah.
Because I want to figure out how you feel about it. Obviously, it's not in our 10.
Yeah.
But,
true.
You know?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, I think, the reason I said earlier that I don't like, you know, esports in the Olympics or anything like that is I think that it's so broad that you should just have another tournament.
You just couldn't understand it, right? Like,
it's just so
the thing
far
about
removed.
most Olympic sports is like I could sit down and watch, and I would know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas there's so many layers.
If
so
Grandma
far
watches Overwatch, she's gonna have a heart attack, I think.
Yeah, I mean that's and I think it magnifies something where like. When I watch a football game, like if I'm watching the football with someone who's really into football, they're going to be, go on, down the line, you know, like shouting and reacting and all that stuff. And I'm just going to be sat there like, okay, like, yeah, he nearly scored.
There goes the ball.
Okay, yeah, like it's not engaging to me. And I feel like, yeah, video games in general take this 1,000 steps further. To like, if I go on to Twitch right now and look for a live stream of someone playing some MOBA that I've never heard of, where it's, you know, all this strategy and all these abilities and everything like that, I'm just not going to understand what's going on at all, and it's not going to be really engaging. I don't know. How do you feel about this?
I absolutely agree. When it comes to like esports in the Olympics, I agree. At least I like watching esports. I don't do it very often, but there's games where I dabble. I like to see. I follow a lot of competitive League of Legends gamers.
Oh, there you go.
Because it's interesting to me. But that's also the other thing about esports, right?
Yeah,
it's like, compared to other sports, I mean, this obviously isn't entirely true. I can't imagine if you're a huge fan of, like, the 100-meter sprint, you're, like, a big fan of
equestrian, yeah.
Equestrian as well.
Yeah.
But, like, if I watch League of Legends esports, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I love this.
Yeah,
there they go. If I watch even, like, Dota 2, which is a very similar game, I can have absolutely no idea what's happening.
Absolutely.
So where at least with equestrians, I know there's horses.
Look at those horses go! Wow, yeah, like it's, you know, there's a level of understanding there. And I think we have formats for these kinds of things. I don't know if you would need like an esports Olympics or something, because like, for example, there's the Overwatch World Cup, which is something I watch every year, which is like it's countries, you know, with their team around the world competing in a bracket, and there's, you know, group stages, and then goes through into like, you know, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and it's engaging. It's like watching football, you know. I understand Overwatch and the video game and the skill and the strategy behind it and things like that, so I can engage in that, and that's fine. That works. Like, I think esports doesn't really need to go any further than it has already, because we have these structures, we have organizations and tournaments that exist.
That's the thing, right? Like, esports has such a like weird desire to become, in quotation marks, a real sport.
Yeah.
When it's like, you already are.
Yeah.
King.
Don't worry.
Chin up.
Yeah, it's okay, esports. Like, you're everything you need to be.
Yeah, you don't need to get in the Olympics.
Yeah,
you can be your own Olympics.
So yeah, and maybe, I don't know, maybe we're unfairly framing responses to this. Like, we didn't say the question in the tweet isn't what non-Olympic sport should become an Olympic sport. Yeah. It's, you know, but it's worth discussing, because it is something people say is like, oh, esports in the Olympics and like things like that. But no, it's not. yeah, I don't think it's something that needs to be taken further than it already has been.
I do like the idea of like watching like a weightlifter play fucking Heroes of the Storm though.
You ever heard of chess boxing?
Dude, we didn't even talk about chess boxing.
Yeah, play like however much time of chess and then get up and... Or is it play a game of chess and then get up, round of boxing?
No, it's like a certain amount of time in chess. And
okay.
then you,
yeah. And then get up, box for a round, sit down, play more chess.
God, okay, we need that, but
esports.
It's League of Legends, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, maybe what it is it's like you're playing like a video game version of the sport you're doing. So it's like...
So, like, Punch-Out.
Yeah, play Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild with, like, the bow and everything. Get up, bit of archery, sit back down, bit more gaming, you know, get back up.
Yeah, okay, I love that.
Link's crossbow training, maybe. You could do that on the Wii. And then a bit of archery. Well, in that case, look, if you're saying we've covered most of the ideas, is there any more you want to chuck in, or should we move it on to...
Nah.
We'll take it into the final phase of playing favourites. I mean, are you ready to go? Are you ready to...
Yeah, I'm ready, but you should go first.
Well, as I either left it in or took it out, I don't know yet, because I haven't edited the episode because we're still recording it, but I kind of forgot that we need to come up with a favourite until halfway through this episode. And so naturally I'm looking at our 10.
Yeah, I was also kind of...
Which means there is a
those.
more than likely possibility that we align.
It's quite likely, yes.
And I'm looking at this list for my favourite non-Olympic sport, and I think I have an answer.
Okay, what is it?
You have to say immediately. Again, we've ended up in this situation. If it's the same, you have to say immediately. I know. Luke, my favourite non-Olympic sport is the obstacle course.
Okay, mine is not.
Okay.
But I can fully understand that one.
Yeah, I think because it is everything I would like in a sport. It's, just...
it is just...
doing something as well as you can.
Watching Total Wipeout or Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, I used to watch
Takeshi's
Total Wipeout when I was little. Oh, Takeshi's Castle. Yeah, it's that kind of thing. You're just getting as good as you can. Granted, both one thing, I think this is what really makes it cool to me. You're trying to be as good as you can at completing the obstacle course, which is a very straightforward thing. But then also it's kind of got these little micro skills, and that you've got to be as good as you can at vaulting over a thing, or scurrying under a thing, or wiggling through a thing. Like, you've got all these little things that you can, like, get really good at. And so, you know, you can sort of, bring the skill level up a bit. I really need to work on my jumping over a thing. So I'm going to do that 1,000 times. Okay, now I'm better at that. And that, in turn, makes me better at doing the obstacle course. I need to get better at my clambering up a thing. So I'm going to work on that and do that 1,000 times. And so, like, you can just really, like, refine and hone these individual skills, which pushes you forward and makes you a better obstacle course-anist, or whatever. I don't know. What someone who competed as
obstacle courser.
Obstacle courser. Yeah. So I think that's a really great sport. It's interesting to watch. You don't. It's not boring. Like, there's no dull moment.
It's a fun one. Yeah.
Like, you'll watch it. It'll be over in a maximum a couple of minutes as someone blazes their way
marathon.
Through. Maybe, God, the last, like, hours of obstacles.
That would be awesome.
That would be a great variation. Yeah, and just by the end of it, people are just throwing themselves through hoops, wiggling on the floor, just limp, like...
Oh, that'd be incredible.
That'd be very funny. Yeah, it's got a lot of room for variation. I think it's a cracking non-Olympic sport, and that's why it's my favourite.
That is a good answer.
Thank you.
I was close, I will say.
Man, okay. It nearly happened.
But, unfortunately... It couldn't, because my favourite is not that.
What is your favourite, Luke?
Harry, I'm sorry.
Yeah?
I'm a big nerd. You know this about me.
No!
I love speedrunning, Harry. I love watching people play video games really well.
Okay.
It's my terrible weakness.
Speedrunning. Okay.
Because, like, if you've watched AGDQ, right? Which is
Awesome Games Done Quick.
Awesome Games Done Quick.
Yes.
It's just I love that stuff. I love watching people who are very good at video games be very good at video games and just, like, blow my ass away. I'm astounded by the capabilities of these people. And What's that noise, Harry?
What?
That's a record scratch.
Oh.
It didn't really sound like one. It sounded like a creaky door.
It's that creaky door opening to indicate.
Well, I mean, I have something to talk about when it comes to world records.
Go on.
Harry.
Hit me with it.
Because we've never mentioned it before on this podcast.
Okay.
We hold a world record.
Holy shit, you're right, we do.
In speedrunning.
I completely forgot this was a thing.
Because I like competing in it as well.
Well,
it's one of the few things that I like to do.
Hold on, you're getting up on your high horse for something that does not deserve.
We don't have an actual. Well, we do have a
world
record, literally.
Yes.
That's so oddly specific. I don't even know if we should bring it up.
Yeah,
but we do hold a world record.
No, let's bring it up. Let's be specific.
Okay.
Because me, you, and a few other people are like, we have a speedrunning world record in a very specific category, in the 4-player variation of this category.
Yeah.
Of a particular level in the video game Payday 2.
Yes.
Because no one else had submitted for this one specific category, and we did.
We've won by default.
Yeah, so we submitted
and that's still winning.
Yeah, and it was still no one else has done it. We did this for 3 categories, and we did have 3 world records at one time.
We now only hold 1.
We now only hold the 1 because other people cottoned on and just annihilated us because we weren't playing it to be quick. We were just playing.
Hey, we did okay.
We were quite good at it. So you know, so we still have our 1 specific world record.
But yeah, like I have done. I'm obviously not like I wouldn't be competing. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I might be a colour commentator.
Okay.
But you know, I've done Mega Man speedruns. I've done speedruns for Enter the Gungeon.
Yeah.
I've done speedruns for other video games that I can't think of right now. Dark Souls.
Yeah, true.
I like speedrunning.
Yeah, okay.
It's fun. It's competitive. It ignites that competitive spirit in me that other things don't really.
Yeah, okay.
I'd rather do that than, like, go kick a ball around. Jeez.
It's fair. I mean, yeah, that's understandable. And, like, I think it does have that element of, you're trying to do one thing really well, right? You're trying to play Green Hill Zone Act 1 as fast as you can. Like,
yeah.
And that's always through any means possible, through certain means.
Learning all them tricks.
So that's understandable. And whilst it doesn't really appeal to me as, you know, it's not always very interesting to watch, and it, you know, I can't say it's even when you're doing
like 30-second long speedruns.
Yeah, and there are equally there's longer ones where it's like, you know, people play for an hour, 2 hours to try, and then if they fuck up, you start over.
Yeah, I mean, this is specifically speedruns that are like, you know, less than 10 minutes long. Anything longer than like an hour, and I'm like, oh my god, how do you do it?
Yeah, no. So, but I understand it and I respect it for that. Yeah, that side of it, which is trying to do a thing really good. Yeah, I get that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's an episode, Luke. I think we've arrived at that point. Fantastic. Episode 25 of Playing Favourites. A weird one. a unique
one.
Episode. But yeah, I think
it's
I've definitely enjoyed
it. The golden halls of Playing Favourites history.
The Olympus. It's going to Olympus. What?
I did find it funny that we had 2 episodes related to Olympia in quick succession.
I was gonna say if you would say it in a row and see if you'd already forgotten food mascots.
No, I know it wasn't in a row.
There you go. But that's it. It's happened. It's over now. It's ending. The episode
it feels like we did that one so quick, Harry. Almost like we did a really fast run.
If we were speedrunning an episode of Playing Favourites, Luke, we've failed epically. Nor do I think we will ever beat episode 1. If that's we peaked early. If we're talking about speedrunning Playing Favourites.
All right, next episode of Playing Favourites, go.
All right,
we're doing
colour, animal. My favourite
red.
this. Your favourite that.
Crud, I've already done that one.
Oh no.
Chartreuse. I've done that one too. Vermilion.
This is right. We're restarting this. Right, we'll restart in a few weeks' time when we're back for another episode. But yeah, we have an outro to do. So Luke.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Listen, man, I've got things to say.
Playing Favourites is here every day.
Not true. God, can you imagine?
It could be.
But I would like to say if you would like to get in contact with us, We're on Twitter at PlayFavorites. Remember, the favorites has a U in it, FAVOURITES. And you can get in contact there. We tweet out whenever we're going to do an episode asking for what your favorite in a particular thing is. And you can tweet in, potentially get featured on the show. It's very cool. As well as a whole bunch of crazy fun stuff going on over there. And we do polls for who had the best favorite. We haven't done one for the food mascot one yet, but that'll be going out soon. People can vote on that. And, there's all kinds of results and things like that. Percentages, voting, it's all very exciting, and all kinds of stuff. You can tweet in with whatever you like over there, and you can also email in playingfavoritspodcast@gmail.com. Email in with whatever you like, really, suggestions for future episodes, what your favorite non-Olympic sport is. We'd love to hear it, and potentially get that read out on the show too. Ooh, direct means of communication, very exciting. So I think that's everything. Luke, do you have anything else to add when it comes to non-Olympic sports?
No, I couldn't think of anything.
No,
I did a beat. Sorry, I was practicing for my holding my breath
the whole
competition that I've got.
Exactly. So,